Asuka, the energetic and strong mother. Yamato, the younger brother who's always in his own little world. Follow us as we karate kick all your daily frustrations away. Asuka's revenge.
I'm Asuka, living with my husband Ryota and our only daughter Ayaka. Ayaka, you're working so hard. Here you go. Thanks, Mom. Ayaka is in the 9th grade and has high school entrance exams in a few days. These past few months, she's been particularly focused on studying, and I, as a parent, am trying to be mindful about supporting her health. Working hard is important, but don't push yourself too hard, okay? I'm fine, thanks. One day, there was an incoming call on my smartphone. Asuka, it's been a while. This is Kaneko. Yes, hello. The caller is Kaneko, my brother-in-law's wife. Ryota is the middle of 3 brothers, and Kaneko is the wife of Kita, the eldest brother. To be honest, I don't really like her. The reason goes back to something that happened 5 years ago. I lost my dad in a traffic accident. Dad. Grandpa. Not just our family, but Ayaka and my husband too. We all felt like we had been knocked down to the depths of despair. Some time passed, and on the day when the grief of losing my father had started to slowly ease, my brother-in-law's family came to visit. While Ayaka was playing games in the living room with my brother-in-law's children, and the brothers were drinking and chatting, Kaneko and I were preparing food in the kitchen. So, I heard your father passed away. Oh, yes, that's right. Kaneko brought up the topic of my father. It was a traffic accident, right? Yes, it was so sudden. He loved being active and was never sick, so I couldn't believe he passed so suddenly. I'm finally starting to cope with it little by little. I see. Though I felt a bit down remembering my father again, since my brother-in-law's family was visiting, I tried to cheer myself up and change my mood, but then... Well, but you know what? Rather than dealing with illness or nursing care, isn't it better if they just go quickly without causing trouble? Huh? I froze for a moment, not understanding the meaning of Kaneko's words. What do you mean? Well, you know, taking care of elderly parents is hard, right? It's fine if they're still aware, but if they become senile and can't recognize themselves or their family, that's really troublesome, isn't it? So, it's better if they just quickly pass away in an accident or something, right? Are you serious? Huh? I couldn't understand her thinking at all, so I asked again, and she looked puzzled. What? Why are you angry? She even asked such an absurd question. Why am I angry? How can you see things like, better if they just go quickly about someone's parent? But isn't it true? Getting sick and needing nursing care is much more troublesome, right? Kaneko continues speaking casually about such things. Plus, since it was an accident, there must have been insurance money and inheritance, right? Isn't that better for those left behind? I was so stunned, I couldn't find the words to respond. I had never once thought it was good that my parent died. At this moment, I developed a strong dislike for Kaneko.
Is everything okay? Need any help?
Perhaps my husband sensed the tense atmosphere in the kitchen as he came over saying that. To avoid ruining the mood, I pretended to be calm and somehow managed to maintain a smile for the rest of the day. This happened 5 years ago. Since then, while we still interact at family gatherings, I've had no desire to have any personal contact with Kaneko. And now, here was a call from her. Actually, Kazuma has come down with influenza. That's terrible. Yes, it is. And you know my older son Takuma is in a crucial period preparing for university entrance exams, right? I was wondering if you could take care of Kazuma at your place for a while. It would be terrible if Takuma caught the flu. What? The purpose of the call was to ask me to take care of Kazuma, her younger son who had come down with the flu. Well, even if you ask that, Ayaka is in the middle of preparing for her high school entrance exams, and it would be terrible if she caught a cold, so we really can't. Though I refused like that. Why not? It's fine, isn't it? Ayaka just has high school entrance exams, but we're talking about university entrance exams. What? What's that supposed to mean? What do you mean? Are you saying it's okay if someone catches a cold during high school entrance exams? Then Kaneko. Please! As Takuma's exam date gets closer, he is becoming unstable. The other day, after getting poor results on a practice test, he stayed up all night studying. If he catches the flu on top of being this stressed, who knows what he might do? She continued with her heated argument, but... I'm sorry, but we're also in a crucial period. Even we're being careful not to catch colds, so there's no way we can take care of Kazuma in this situation. Our apartment is on the 6th floor, you know. If something happens and he jumps, I can't even sleep at night thinking about it. She kept arguing with such reasoning, but I don't care. Of course it's natural that her son's exam is important to her, but it's the same for us. Besides, if you're talking about staying up all night, Ayaka has been studying constantly too. What would you do if Kazuma stays here and Ayaka catches the flu? It's not a big deal if you fail high school entrance exams. You're applying to private schools as a backup, right? This contemptuous attitude, she hadn't changed at all from 5 years ago. Listen, you haven't forgotten, have you? What you said 5 years ago about my father's death? Huh? Your father? Did I say something? After such an outrageous response, my anger reached its peak. Forget it! I'll never forget, but you clearly have, and we cannot take care of Kazuma. That's final! Wait! I forcefully hung up the phone. Right now, Ayaka is at a crossroads in her life. Of course, as Kaneko said, failing high school entrance exams wouldn't ruin her life. But if Ayaka is working hard towards getting into her chosen high school, as parents, we naturally want to support her fully and avoid causing any unnecessary stress. What is wrong with that person? Even after hanging up, Kaneko's words kept bothering me, but I decided to focus on my daughter and tried to forget about it. However, that night... Asuka, are you there? Huh? Along with the loud doorbell, I heard Kaneko's voice from the entrance. This can't be. As I nervously opened the door. Finally! Sorry, but can you please take him? Huh? What she handed over was my nephew Kazuma, who was limp and red-faced with fever. Wait! What is this about? What do you mean, what? We talked about this on the phone this afternoon. I asked if you could help because my eldest son is preparing for exams. Somehow, this person, despite my firm refusal, had forcibly brought Kazuma, who had a high fever, to our house. Hey, stop joking around. I told you on the phone too. This is ridiculous. Ayaka has exams too. It's an important time. How can you be so inconsiderate to bring him here forcefully? Inconsiderate? We have a child preparing for university exams, so it would be terrible if the flu spreads in our house. It's the same for us. Even if you bring him here suddenly, we don't have a place for him to sleep. As we were arguing at the entrance...
Kaneko? And Kazuma? What's going on?
Ryota came out after hearing the commotion. Oh, Ryota, it's been a while. Please listen to me. Kazuma got the flu, and I'm asking if they can take care of him for a while, but Asuka just won't understand. Of course I won't. As I've said many times, we also have a daughter preparing for exams. After understanding the whole situation from the conversation, my husband said,
I see. So that's what this is about. Kaneko, I'm sorry, but as Asuka says, we cannot take care of Kazuma. If you persist, this could become a serious issue. We don't want to create family trouble, so could you please leave now?
After being lectured by Ryota, Kaneko seemed to give up and left with Kazuma. Thanks.
No, I'm fine. But I hope Kazuma will be okay.
Yeah, it's not Kazuma's fault, and honestly, if Ayaka wasn't having exams, I might have considered it, but right now?
Yeah, there's also what she said about your father before.
Yeah, that's right! Ryota knows about Kaneko's comments from 5 years ago, so he also holds some animosity towards her.
I wonder if my brother knows about this. I'll contact him quickly. Asuka, you should probably wash your hands and gargle just in case.
Thanks. Yeah, you're right. After going inside, Ryota called his older brother Kita. From what I heard through Ryota afterward, Kita apparently didn't know that Kaneko had asked us to take care of Kazuma, and he said he would confront her about it when she got home.
Let's wait and see how things go for now.
Yeah, for now, Ayaka's exam is coming up soon. The day after hearing through Ryota that Kazuma had recovered from the flu, it was finally time for Ayaka's entrance exam. Ayaka, you'll definitely be fine.
If you don't rush and solve each question carefully, you'll be okay.
Yeah, I'll be fine. In the morning, Ryota and I saw Ayaka off cheerfully. For better or worse, everything would be decided today. I couldn't focus on anything else during the day. Ayaka finished her exam safely, and now we just had to wait for the results. I'm so nervous. It'll be okay. Let's believe and wait. Yeah. While spending these slightly restless days, Ryota suddenly came home from work and...
Asuka, can I talk to you for a moment?
He led me to the other room with a serious expression. What? What is it?
Well...
Apparently, their nephew Takuma have failed his university entrance exam.
I got a call earlier, and because of Ayaka's situation, I thought we shouldn't discuss it loudly in the house.
I see. That must be really disappointing for Takuma since he worked so hard.
Yeah, but it seems Kaneko is the one who's most devastated.
Well, I guess Kaneko was supporting him in her own way. But Ryota continued.
Well, yeah, that's part of it, but apparently there's another issue she's struggling with.
Another issue?
Yeah, apparently Kaneko's mother has dementia and needs home care. Kaneko's been focused on taking care of her mother lately, and she's physically and mentally exhausted. Then getting this news about Takuma's exam failure really hit her hard.
I see. After hearing this report from my husband, the next day... It's all Asuka's fault that Takuma failed his entrance exam because you want to take care of Kazuma, and my mother getting sick must be a curse from Asuka's father. She called and started spouting nonsensical accusations. I'm sorry about Takuma, but in the end, he didn't catch the flu, right? So my taking care of Kazuma or not had nothing to do with it, and yes, caring for your mother must be difficult. Maybe this happened because of what you said about my father back then. It might have been mean, but after I said that, she hung up the phone, so I considered it lucky and blocked her number. Finally able to distance myself from this troublesome person, peace returned to our daily life. Then one day... Ready to look? Yeah!
Alright.
Today was the day of Ayaka's exam results announcement. The three of us waited in front of the computer for that moment. And then... I did it! I passed! Ah! Wonderful!
You did it! You did it, Ayaka!
Ayaka successfully passed her first choice school. She would be starting at her desired high school in spring. Ayaka, you worked so hard. Really, well done. Finally, I felt the weight lift from my chest. Sure, we'll probably face bigger worries and challenges from now on, but for now, I just want to savor this joy a little longer with our family of 3. My name is Kotami. I've been married to Daisuke for 2 years. I get on well with my mother-in-law who lives nearby, and we visit each other often. My husband has an older brother called Kosuke, and him and his wife live about an hour's drive from us, so we don't get to see them very often. But one day, they were coming home, so we went to visit my in-laws' house, but...
Daisaki, Kimono-san, it's been a while since last we saw you. Ever since your wedding.
It's been a while.
Well, don't just stand there, come on in.
I'll go help my mother-in-law then. And while the men were drinking, my mother-in-law and Kaori-san, my brother-in-law's wife, were standing in the kitchen. By the way, Kaori-san, what are your favorite foods? Do you have any dislikes or allergies? My father-in-law has an allergy, so my mother-in-law always asks people close to her about it, and she serves up their favorite foods. I don't really have any dislikes, but if I had to choose, I don't like deep-fried food. My favorite food is sushi. Kaori-san answered like that. By the way, I love deep-fried food, but I don't like raw fish, so I was listening to that conversation thinking, that's the opposite of me. Then some time passed and it was New Year's. Again, my brother-in-law and his wife were coming home again, so my husband and I also went to visit my in-laws. As I suspected, my mother-in-law prepared a large amount of sushi for Kaori-san and my favorite deep-fried foods. Thank you, mother-in-law. I'm so happy, but I feel a little bad about having so much. It's fine. I like preparing food. Eat up. Yes. In front of Kaori-san was a large amount of delicious sushi and lots of fried food lined up on my side. Ikitakimasu! Go ahead. As I was about to eat the food with pleasure... Mother-in-law, isn't this just a way of making the daughter-in-law feel uncomfortable? What? I don't like sushi, but I like fried foods. That's terrible.
That's right, Mom! Why would you do something like this?
Kaori-san complained teary-eyed and her husband backed her up. My husband and my father-in-law were flustered. Me and my mother-in-law were speechless. What? Didn't Kaori-san say you like sushi and didn't like fried foods the other time? That's right. That's what I heard. We were talking in whispers and nodding to each other, but...
What did Kaori do to you, Mom? Harassing people with food is the worst thing a human being could do. Calm down, big brother. There's no way Mom would do something like that. It must have been a mistake or misunderstanding. A man who believes blindly in his mother is called a mama's boy. What?
As the brothers were fighting in front of the delicious meal, the parents-in-laws were trying to calm them down, so I took the opportunity to pull Kaori-san to the corner of the room. Kaori-san, you said you like sushi and don't like fried food, right? I never said that. I remember because I was listening in to you thinking that you were the opposite of me. Of course, her mother-in-law remembered it too, which is why she prepared that today. As I whispered that to her, but in-laws asking you that kind of thing is only to harass their daughter-in-law. That's why I answered the opposite. What? I was speechless. When I glanced at the table, I heard that Kaori-san likes sushi too.
Mom must have misunderstood. Who would tell a lie when asked what their favorite food is?
Someone who would answer a lie when asked about their favorite food is right here. When I told Kaori-san to go and apologize seeing my mother-in-law and Kosuke-san arguing, "Huh? What are you talking about, Kotomi-san? How can I apologize in this situation? I'll be the bad guy." But it was Kaori-san who lied, so you're the only one who can clear up this misunderstanding. If you were asked something like that, wouldn't you think that your mother-in-law was trying to be mean to you? I would never apologize. But she got angry at me for that and didn't apologize at all. After that, I explained everything I had heard to Kosuke-san, but he didn't believe me and... I don't want to talk about this anymore. Kosuke, let's go home. With those words, they really left. I couldn't accept it for some reason and... The truth is something like this. After Kaori-san and her husband left, I told my mother-in-law the truth. My mother-in-law... I see. Then I'd better not get involved anymore. It seems that she was so fed up that she decided to completely ignore them. After that, even though my brother-in-law and his wife came home for New Year's, my mother-in-law stopped preparing their favorite dishes. However, she still prepares plenty of me and Daisuke's favorite dishes.
It looks delicious, Mom. Thanks.
Thank you so much! Seeing us eating it with smiles on our faces, Kaori-san went silent, and finally, the other day...
Mom and Kotomi-san are working together to harass Kaori, aren't you? What? I'm sure Kotomi-san is trying to get my mother to like her by telling her things that aren't true. Don't be ridiculous.
My husband was furious when he got a call like that from his brother.
Let's stop seeing my brother and his family.
Yeah. We decided to distance ourselves from them. After that, we didn't see my brother-in-law and his wife for about 2 years. Then one day, it was discovered that I was pregnant.
Daisuke, Kotomi-san, congratulations!
Kotomi-san, be careful not to catch a cold, Daisuke. You should take care of yourself so you don't put a strain on Kotomi-san.
I know.
Thank you. My in-laws were overjoyed, and I was also living a happy life as a pregnant woman, but one day when I went to my in-laws' house... Oh, Kotomi-san, I heard you were pregnant. Congratulations. Oh, it's been a while, Kaori-san. Thank you. I ran into my brother-in-law and his wife. I'm sorry, they came out of the blue. No, it's fine with me. My mother-in-law apologized, but she's not to blame. And as usual, it was time for dinner, which my mother-in-law had prepared, but...
Wow, it's more extravagant than usual today. And it's all the things that Kotomi likes.
I heard that your morning sickness has finally gone away. Please eat as much as you'd like, Kotomi-san. Thank you very much. I'll definitely eat a lot. Just when I thought the happy meal was about to start. What is this? Are you trying to make me feel bad because I can't get pregnant yet? Of course. I bet for a mother-in-law, Kotomi-san, who lives nearby, is hundreds of times more adorable than a daughter-in-law who lives far away. Kaori-san suddenly lost her temper. What? If I'm made to feel like this, I can't live any longer. I don't think anyone was making fun of you. Don't lie to me.
Kaori, I got it, so stop crying, all right?
I was surprised, but my mother-in-law and husband were looking at them with disgust. I was thinking that I wanted to eat the delicious food before it got cold, but then...
Kaori-san, I'm sorry, but please don't come to our house anymore.
My father-in-law, who always smiles and doesn't say much, said so with a straight face. What?
What's wrong with you, Dad? That's right. Just because she's my brother's wife, I don't want to see a woman who makes her own mother and daughter-in-law out to be the bad guys and acts like a victim either.
What a terrible thing to say! As I was surprised at my father-in-law, who is always smiling and doesn't say much, getting angry like that.
Yes, please leave. I don't want to see anyone who is trying to make my mother out to be the bad guy.
No! When Kaori-san heard my husband and father-in-law say this, she went silent for a moment, but then she burst into tears again.
What's the matter with you all being so mean to my wife? Don't you have any compassion?
My brother-in-law shouted, but...
If you think that after seeing what just happened, then you should never come here again too. Go home!
You're terrible! Please, go home, both of you, and from now on, don't come back.
I can't believe it. You better not regret having us thrown out!
After being attacked by the in-laws, they stormed home. Then... Speaking of which, Kosuke called again yesterday. Oh, how is he? He seems to be doing well. He's still talking about me harassing his wife, so I told him I'll block his calls if he contacts me again for this kind of stuff, even if it's my own son. My brother-in-law seems to be in touch with my mother-in-law from time to time, but she seems to be treating him coldly. But if he could just say, "I'm sorry." Of course, to me, they're just a crazy couple, but to my mother-in-law, he's one of her adorable sons. When I see my mother-in-law looking a little lonely sometimes, it makes my heart ache a little too. Well, there's nothing I can do because we brought them up the wrong way. But more importantly, how's your health? You're going back to your parents' house soon, right? Yes. My father is coming to pick me up tomorrow, so I thought I'd come today because I won't be able to see my mother-in-law for a while. Oh, Kotomi-san, you're such a good daughter-in-law. I went to my hometown to give birth to a cute baby girl named Kotone, and we went back home to raise her.
Katoni, you're the cutest in the world.
Yeah. It's been a few years since I started leading a busy but happy life. When our daughter was in elementary school, I went shopping alone to a shopping mall a little way away, and when I was taking a break from shopping... Oh, Kotomi-san? What? I heard a voice calling my name. I thought I'd heard that voice somewhere before, and I recognized it immediately. This voice... Could it be Kaori-san? No, not here. Oh no, this is near my brother-in-law's house. In the split second before I turned around, I should have thought of pretending not to hear, but my head was already about to turn, but... What? Do I know you? Oh, did you already forget your sister's face because we haven't seen each other in a while? When I turned around, what met my eyes was a woman who was almost spherical, and my mind went blank. Sister? I only have one older brother. Speaking of sister, is it my brother's wife Asuka-san? No, this person is... Kaori-san? Oh, that's right. You're such a cold person. How can you forget the faces of your relatives? Is it because you're the kind of person who makes things up so you can be liked by your mother-in-law? Maybe being cold is a standard for you. What? The Kaori-san I know was someone who, if she kept quiet, was a normal, pretty person. But Kaori-san in front of me had a round face, a round body, and a round figure. Her height is probably the same as mine, but she seems to have twice the volume. But even after all this time, you still look poor. Well, is it because you've had a baby? A housewife like you probably doesn't have any money to spend on herself. Huh? Aren't those two getting old too? Well, we cut off all contact with them, so it's not a problem for us. But you should take care of them properly. It's the seed you sowed, so don't come to us for help. The woman with the round face said this with a harsh breath and then left, making a thud with her footsteps. I was too shocked to say anything back, and when I stopped by my in-laws' place on my way home from shopping and told them about it. What? That's what happened to Kaori-san. Actually, Kosuke has been talking about wanting to get a divorce from a while ago. But because he's such a stupid boy, he just mumbled on and on when I asked him why, and I couldn't understand a thing. He said things like, I can't see her as a woman anymore, and she's gotten fat. Oh, at first, when they were cut off, my brother-in-law would say that he wasn't the one to blame and that we should be sorry. But after 1 to 2 years, he started saying things like, want us to visit, and it must be a bad look to cut off your own son and his wife. And recently, it seems like he's saying, I want to break up with my wife. If I get a divorce, I'll move back and live with you, but... No. But my mother-in-law said no and treated him coldly, seeing how he hasn't shown any sign of remorse. After listening to my story, I guess I spoiled my son too much. She muttered with a sigh and looked off into the distance. She said she liked fried foods instead of sushi before, after all. I suddenly remembered that, and as soon as I said that, my mother-in-law and I looked at each other and burst out laughing. As you'd expect, with Kaori-san's body changing so much, it seems like my brother-in-law is literally under her thumb. But I think Kaori-san should be a little more moderate because I'm also worried about her health. I don't want to have to look after my estranged brother-in-law and his wife if anything happens to them either. I'd heard that my brother and his wife had given up on having children, and I thought about something mean, but I decided not to say it out loud. I'm Asuka. I'm a working housewife in my 30s with no children yet, but after discussing with my husband Ryota, we decided to get married while we could still work. Bought a second-hand condo at the same time, and now it's been a few years living here since. Although it's used, the location and space is perfect, and most importantly, it's stylishly built, so I really like it, but...
If we keep going like this, I think the mortgage will be finished in 2 or 3 years' time.
I know, right? It was worth working really hard with 2 horsepower, and we were talking about having a baby soon since we were on track to pay off the loan, until one day... Oh, a call from mother-in-law. That's unusual. Yes, hello. I had just finished work and was busy cooking dinner when my mother-in-law called, and when I answered... Asuka, long time no speak. I heard from Ryota that the condo loan is nearly repaid. Yes, it's been a while. Well, although I think it will be next year or the year after that. Alright then, we'll live in it for you, so trade it with our family home. Huh? We have a garden and a very big land, so it's a great deal. You're going to be having kids soon too, right? After all, raising small children in a house with a garden is the best way. But wait a minute, where is this coming from? You know, Kotami has gone off to be a bride, right? And being alone with father in a big house is, you know. That, and this is... Apartments are best for old people, and single detached homes with a garden are best for little kids. Alright, that's what's happening, so thanks. Hang on! I was given a ridiculous one-sided offer and then the phone cut off. Not long after that, I told my husband about it when he came home.
What is that? I haven't heard anything.
I was told out of the blue too, so I don't know. My husband was so surprised that he called my mother-in-law right away, but... What's wrong with that? It's a perfectly timed offer.
Don't be so ridiculous! We've been paying the mortgage, why should we have to live in a shabby home now?
Like I said, 2 people living in an old age is better in an apartment with the space and the land. If you're going to be having kids, you might as well have a detached house.
Don't be stupid! We're the ones that paid the loan!
It's the right size, and the loan is a small price to pay for showing parental piety. My mother-in-law slammed the phone down on my husband, and he called her back several times, but we couldn't catch her that day. By the way, my in-laws live in a neighboring city about an hour's drive from us. It's also conveniently located near the terminal station. However, from the station closest to our condo, we have to transfer trains, so in the end, it's faster to drive there by car. I heard that a new train line is being laid now, and when it opens, it will be possible to get there with only 1 train. But even after that, my mother-in-law wouldn't give up. Like I said, it's going to be so convenient for you. I don't know about that. A spacious house with a garden conveniently close to the train station, doesn't that sound great? That doesn't matter. I'm telling you that we're going to get that condo. We refuse! Although I receive these phone calls every day, I ignored any contact from Ryota. I got so frustrated that we discussed as a couple that we refused to receive any incoming calls. Yes, coming. What? Long time no see, Asuka. I brought a little something to share. Huh? Just like I thought, this apartment is great. Perfect for elderly people. Go on, hurry up and decide. Huh? Oh, Asuka, you have a visitor at the reception desk. For me? I wonder who. I don't have an appointment scheduled. Yeah! Asuka, hello. It's just turned lunchtime, right? Let's go together. I don't know any shops in this office town, so... She comes not only to our home, but also to my office. Indeed. Right after we bought the condo, my mother-in-law came to visit and said, "It's so lovely," whilst checking out all the rooms, so I thought she must really like it here. Hey, Asuka, have you thought about it? No, I told you. If you only understood, Asuka, it would all be solved quicker. But... Oh, you're so young, Asuka, but you're so hard-headed. She even used my father-in-law's phone to call me when she had the chance, and I totally became overwhelmed. One day, my husband, who could not bear to see me exhausted, decided to go to my parents' house to talk to them. But when he came back, he said to me,
I've decided to trade the condo for the family home.
What? Everything turned black before my eyes. Hang on a minute. How has it come to this? Didn't you go to warn them?
Asuka, you must be really tired these days, right?
Oh, I am tired, but that and this has nothing to do with it.
I'll explain properly later. It's going to be okay. I won't make it worse.
But...
I'll find a way to negotiate somehow, so don't worry.
When I tried to argue with him, he just kept repeating, "It's going to be okay." I had lost all my energy and was barely able to go to work every day. But in the meantime, my husband was calmly going through the procedures to exchange the condo for the parents' house and preparing to move out. I'm sure there were discussions about the sale and transfer of land in the buildings, which suddenly included a professional third party, but I wasn't involved in those discussions, and my husband was in charge of everything. All I did was go to the city hall to file a few forms, which my husband asked me to do. Why did it come to this? Sometimes I felt like crying, but if my husband had made the decision, I had no choice. Normally, I would have fought back strongly, but my mother-in-law's relentless attacks seemed to have made me more depressed than I thought, and I was like an emotionless robot that just did as it was told. And so, before I knew it, the in-laws' house and our condo were exchanged in no time, and my in-laws moved into our fancy condo, whilst we moved into a shabby in-laws family house.
Right then, let's go.
Okay. But no, instead, we moved to a newer condo near my husband's work. Wow, it's so nice.
It's not even 3 years old. And the guy who lived here before was a businessman with a hard job who hardly came home and got transferred out apparently.
You're right, the bathroom and toilet are as good as new.
The previous condo was convenient too, but this one is not only the station, but also walking distance to supermarkets and drugstores. So I think it's more convenient here.
Yeah. But are you really okay with this? Mother-in-law doesn't know about this.
My father and I explained it to her many times, but it was her who didn't want to listen. And he promised me that from now on, he would be responsible for keeping my mom in line. So, it's alright.
I see, but I never thought we'd find such a good deal. The reason my husband agreed to trade our condo for the in-laws' house and moving into a rental condo instead of the in-laws' house was because...
Ryota, like your mother said, let's trade this place for your condo. What? Why? Actually, there is someone who wants to buy this land. They are planning to build a new condo. What do you mean?
The area around the in-laws' family house is undergoing a rush of development, with a new train station being built and a number of complexes being constructed.
Our house itself is old, but we have a large plot of land that could sell for a good price. Even if you don't sell it, you can build a condo or a building for yourselves and can expect to earn rental income. But, I mean, if there is such a delicious deal, why don't you guys do it? Regarding that, I've explained it to your mother 1,000,000 times. Several major developers came and talked with us, but that woman... I want to live in a stylish condo. Talk about that another time, is what she said, and wouldn't listen. Oh, I can visualize that. So, I figured I was gonna do what she wishes. But then you'll both be at a loss quite a bit. Well, actually, we've been helping Kotomi with her college expenses, as well as her wedding, and now her new house. But you've taken care of everything yourself, and this is all we can leave for our son.
We're getting old, so living in a condo is just right for us. After being told that, he decided to exchange.
Kotomi heard about it from father and she's convinced. If something should happen to us, he promised me in writing, so there shouldn't be a problem.
I see. Seems like you were working on all this while I was in a daze. Thank you.
Oh, no, because of my mom, you were put in such a bad state. I'm really sorry.
I'm all right now. My husband then talked to several vendors and signed a contract with one that had the best terms. A 15-story condo is going to be built on the land where my parents-in-law's house used to be, and we're planning to move there as landowners as soon as it's completed. In addition to the room we will live in, there will also be a one-bedroom place that will be ours, and we plan to rent that room.
The loan on the previous condo, with the rental income, we'll be able to pay it off soon.
I'm so grateful that we'll have a stable income outside of work once we start trying to have a baby. And by the way, with my in-laws who moved into their second-hand condo... Condos are really wonderful, aren't they? The bath and toilet are so clean, it's so easy to tidy up.
That's true.
Although my mother-in-law was cheerful by the fact that she got her way after living there for a while... As I thought. Second-hand is second-hand, isn't it? It's stylish, but the exterior's old-fashioned. We should at least renovate the rooms.
We don't have that money.
I don't know if she just got bored or what, but she started to make little complaints. And finally, a condo was finally completed on my in-laws' family's house land, and we moved in. We had talked about inviting my parents-in-laws again when the time was right, but recently my mother-in-law finally learned the truth, or at least realized it. Wait, there's a new condo where our house used to be? What do you mean?
I told you many times.
What are you talking about? I haven't heard anything. So you're telling me that Ryota and Asuka are now living in this new condo? What is that? That's unfair. How awful of them.
That's enough now. I've told you so many times, and I've had contractors come and talk with me many times, but you were the one who didn't listen to me.
But...
Ryota and I explained it to you as well, but all you said was, I want a stylish condo.
That's 'cause...
Oh, don't tell me now you want to trade again, or ask for the house back. Oh, how embarrassing.
She's still in touch with her former neighbors who are envious of her current situation, but the father-in-law's serious anger ruined things, and she sometimes calls her daughter, who has moved far away, to complain about it. Father and Ryota. No, I was being tricked by Asuka. No, I heard what happened from father and brother too. You just didn't listen, Mom, like you usually do. Saying you've been cheated is so disgraceful. Well, I didn't know that. You're old enough to know that I didn't know, so therefore it's not my fault. Doesn't cut it. I mean, Mom, I heard that you were so persistent that it made Asuka depressed. That's not really relevant right now. How would you feel if I was doing that to my husband's parents? Is that what you'd do as a person's parent? My sister-in-law, who knew everything that was going on, had been giving her a hard time about it, and I heard that she's a lot more behaved recently.
Mom says all those things, but I love the apartment, and I don't know whether it's because you guys have been so good, but I've been able to get along with all the residents, so I'm really grateful. I'm glad to hear that. We'll invite you both over once we settle in a little bit more. Mom might start saying this and that again, so maybe in a year or so.
My father-in-law laughed at that, but said, "You're bored, that's why you think about nonsense things," and got mother-in-law more involved, so she started going to a nearby sports club. She's planning to participate in a citizens marathon in the near future.
My mom, she started to lose some weight and is quite hooked apparently. I hear she's doing early morning runs with a few neighbors she's become friends with. Eventually, she's not going to be interested in coming to see our condo, I don't think.
I'm glad to hear that mother-in-law and father-in-law are enjoying living there. When I was exhausted from being forced to trade my condo for a shabby house, all I could do was wonder what would happen next, but I'm truly glad that it turned out well for the both of us in the end. My name is Asuka, and I've been married to my husband Ryota for 10 years. Our only daughter Ayaka is in the 2nd grade of elementary school, and she's going to school today as usual, but one morning... Oh, something's on the floor! Oh dear, someone must have dropped it. It's rare to find a bag. Yes, it is. At Ayaka's school, parents take it in turns to accompany their children to school in groups every morning, but on the day I happened to be on duty, Ayaka found a bag that had fallen on the ground. This is a lost item, right? Should I check it inside? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, wait a second. As I approached the item hesitantly to take a look inside, Sayori, who was also on duty, stopped me. What's the matter, Sayori? There were 3 of us on duty today. When the other member, Aki, asked me, I nodded my head in agreement. I'll take a photo just in case. Yes, that's fine. Asuka, please. Aki, sorry, can you watch the kids? Kaori, who was holding her smartphone, urged me to open the bag, so I nodded and opened it. A wallet and smartphone are in there too. I wonder if the person who dropped it is in trouble. I wonder what kind of situation it is to drop a bag with your wallet and smartphone inside. Maybe they were carrying a lot of stuff and dropped it. The adults tilted their heads, but when they looked at their watches, it was almost time for school to start. For now, I've got to get the kids to school. It was Ayaka who found the bag, and I'll take it to the police box. So can you two take care of the rest? No, let's all three go to the police box after we've gone to school. The school is just around the corner, but the police box is in the opposite direction, so I suggested that it would be best to go there for efficiency, but Kaori disagreed, so we took the children to school first, and then the three of us adults headed for the police box. Is it really necessary to have so many adults just to deliver a report? While I was thinking this to myself, I was filling in the forms that were handed to me at the police box. Excuse me, have you received a lost bag report? What? A familiar face. I'm pretty sure it's the waitress from the new stylish cafe that opened recently in the neighborhood. Or rather, the person rumored to be the owner's wife ran into the police box. It's an orange bag, and inside there's a bank book, a wallet, a smartphone, a handkerchief, tissues.
Please, calm down. Anyway, the documents.
Could it be the bag we found?
Ah, that's right. Is this the bag you dropped, ma'am?
When I hear the commotion next to me, I involuntarily raise my voice, and the police officer next to us pulls the bag I just gave him out from under the counter. That's it!
Hey, wait!
The owner's wife snatched the bag from the policeman's hands and rummaged through it. The policemen looked at each other with puzzled expressions, probably because I, the finder, was still in the middle of filing in the forms, and the bag had not yet been officially reported as lost. Well, but it's a good thing the owner was found before the report was filed. I had already filled in about 80% of the form, but I was relieved that my efforts had not been in vain. Just when I was thinking that's a relief, it's not here!
What?
The bank book. It's not here. It's not here! As if she had just started to scream, she glared at us. Did you pick it up? Well, yes. Where and at what time?
Asuka was just filling in this form. At around 7:40 in the morning, on the road in front of the parking lot on the way to the elementary school.
Kaori answered while looking at the form, taking my place as I cowered in fear, but... I think the bank book was in this bag. Why isn't it in there? What? No. I don't know. I can't say anything else. It's a bank book from Scat Bank. I'm sure it was in there. We just picked up the bag when we were watching the kids go to school. We checked it out there and then, but we were just saying that the person who dropped it must be in trouble because their wallet and smartphone are in there, and we were wondering how they could drop an entire bag with such important things in it. Did you look inside the bag? Then it must have been there. No, we told you. I mean, it's less than 5 minutes from elementary school to here, right? So why didn't you bring this earlier? Why did it take you so long? I've been feeling it for a while now. It seems like this person is suspicious of us. What is with you? We just delivered the bag, but are you suspicious of us? No, but you can't think of it any other way, can you? The bank book that I'm sure I put in there is missing. It's impossible that my wallet and smartphone are still there, but the bank book has disappeared. I was just being kind, but I got caught up in all this trouble. Or rather, I was being treated like a criminal, and I was so surprised that I lost my words. But at that moment, as I said earlier, the person who found the bag was a primary school student on their way to school. Then it was Asuka, the parent of the child who found the bag, who checked the contents. Here is a photo of Asuka touching the bag. Then, when she checked the contents, she took a video like this. Kaori, who is usually quiet, raised her smartphone and shouted, "What is this? That's not proof!" I think that the time and location are linked to the image, so if you can check the time and location information for this photo properly, it should be enough to serve as evidence, right? That's... The owner's wife, the woman whose name was Mayumi, chokes up. We can both agree that none of the three of us touched or took anything from the bag, and you can check it out in detail if you'd like. It was decided, and Kaori looked cool, but it didn't last long. But then why did the bank book go missing? That's not right. I definitely put it in my bag. I understand. If you give it to me now, I'll forgive you. So give it to me now. Mayumi didn't hide her suspicion of us and began to speak out.
Please, calm down. I checked the contents of the bag, but there was no bank book in there.
That means these people stole it.
There's no proof of that. And as the wife said earlier, why don't you go home and look for it?
I told you. I'm sure I put it in there. Mayumi was uncooperative and unmanageable, but the police officers somehow persuaded her to go home for the time being, and then... I'll check the house, but I've memorized your faces. If I can't find the passbook, I'll sue all three of you. The police officer is a witness. She snorted and glared at us before leaving. On the way home... What if she really did lose her bank book and then she blames us for it? I wonder if she'll really sue us. I'm so angry. If anything happens, I'll use this image and video, and I have a lawyer who helped me out before, so I don't think you need to worry that much. While complaining, we were walking when suddenly... Speaking of which, Kaori, you were taking those photos and videos, but you have a high awareness of crisis management. That's amazing. Saying this, I remembered being impressed by Kaori's skill. Actually, my older child picked up a wallet on the street once. When we took it to the police box, the owner showed up, but she was in a big fuss because the contents had been emptied. The lawyer I mentioned earlier is the person who helped us at that time. Eek! My child, who was suspected, and us parents also felt very uncomfortable, so we're careful about lost property. I see. I thought, it's just a lost item, so why do 3 grown-ups have to go together to return it? But now, I'm even more impressed that it was based on Kaori's bitter personal experience. And so, much later than planned, today's duty was over. After that, I was in contact with Kaori and Aki, but several weeks passed without any calls from the police or lawyers, and I was almost forgetting about the lost item when one day... Speaking of which, Asuka, have you ever been to that cafe? That cafe? Oh. When I was chatting with another mother, I furrowed my brows when I heard the words "that cafe" because that cafe was the shop of Mayumi. I was thinking of going there, but... Yeah! So you heard the rumor too! The rumor? It seems that someone dropped a bag a while ago. It was delivered to the police box, but then the bank book was taken out of it. What? And it seems that the culprit is a child from our elementary school. I'm not saying for sure, but that's what they were complaining about. What is that? Isn't it creepy? They said something like the culprit is in the elementary school, and then after a while they stopped talking about it, so I asked them, what happened to the bank book? It seems the bank book was in the husband's possession. What? Huh? According to the other mothers, the day in question, Mayumi took out the bank book with the intention of making a deposit, but she forgot it on the table when she left. It seems that her husband was planning to go on a business trip that day, and when she left the house to do some shopping, he saw the bank book lying on the table and thought it was careless, so he took it with him.
I looked all over the house, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, when my husband got home, I was going to talk to him about it and take a lawyer and the police to storm the thief, the house of the moms who I thought were the culprit, but I'm glad I found it.
These said things like the area is unsafe and that the elementary school is a den of delinquents, and I was so astonished.
It was a nice atmosphere, but to be honest, it was just the atmosphere. The taste was normal and the prices were high, so I don't need to go there anymore.
Since the bank book was dropped, there was no culprit who stole it, and there was no victim who it was stolen from. That was good, but what was that woman? My blood boiled. Spreading rumors like that. What were you going to do if the children were suspected of being thieves and there was a commotion? I'm so angry. I want to go and shout at the cafe right now, but I don't want to make a mess of things. I'm so angry. When I was silent, Asuka, what's wrong? You look pale. Are you okay? Oh, yeah. Well, about that rumor. I was startled when I was approached by a mom friend of mine and had an idea. Then I'll tell the truth too. And so I told the truth about that day, from the time my daughter found the bag that had fallen and we took it to the police box with Sayori and Aki, who were on duty at the time, to the time Mayumi appeared and shouted at us. Seriously? That's a complete false accusation. Even though she was panicking because she lost her bank book, that's no way to treat Asuka and the others who delivered it to her. Sayori was quick-witted, so I was going to fight back if it came to that, but I can't believe she would blab about something involving a child like that. My friends nodded in agreement, which made me feel a little better. After that, I contacted Sayori and Aki and told them about the rumors. That's the worst. She should apologize. I'm glad it was a misunderstanding, but if she had known our faces or the faces of our children, there was a possibility that she would have spread rumors about that too. I can't believe it. Seriously, after complaining for a while, well, I guess I'm a little relieved. Yeah, I'm still angry, but I'm glad it's all over. Every time I passed the police box, I'd say hello to the police officers. I thought it would make me look good in case of an emergency, but it made me look suspicious instead. In any case, it's over now, so we agreed to let bygones be bygones. Well, I'm definitely not going to that cafe no matter how popular it becomes. Me too. Of course. Since we agreed on that, we talked about having a small tea party together at another cafe that wasn't that stylish cafe, and the commotion came to an end. One afternoon, about a month later... Huh? When I passed by that cafe, the shutters were half closed. Did this shop close on weekdays? I've never been there before, so I don't know. As I was about to walk past... Mayumi came out from the gap in the shutters with a piece of paper in her hand, and our eyes met. I quickly left the area, but when I passed by again on the way home... Thank you for always coming to our store. Due to various circumstances, we will be closing the store for a while. There was a sign like that. I felt a mixture of emotions like, oh my, and that's what you get. In the end, the store never reopened. When I noticed there was a sign with the words for rent and the contact details of a real estate agency, so it looks like it went out of business. Well, apparently it was a shop that was run by amateurs to begin with. I've never been there before, so I don't know, but there were a lot of people who said, once is enough. Well, it's a residential area around here, and it seems like there were some housewives who made good use of it. The power of housewives gossip is amazing, isn't it? I don't know if the rumors were the reason the shop went out of business, but when I said that, Sayori and Aki laughed, so I laughed too.
Thank you for watching all the way till the end. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. See you next time!